Very good evening, welcome to the programme as ever. Now, it may be very hard for most of our viewers to imagine a scenario in which a professional sportsman played all year round. You know how these days managers and even players sometimes complain about the number of fixtures, fixture congestion, the squad rotation and all of that. Can you imagine a situation in which a professional sportsman was a professional footballer during the winter and went immediately from the football season to play professional cricket for his county? Well, my guest tonight did exactly that for quite a number of years. He's also a legend of Sheffield United, of a legendary Sheffield United team that I hope some of you remember. I just about do, in 1970-71, and he's still very active to this day. And in fact, I'm stopping him from playing tennis because he's in the studio this evening. A warm welcome to Ted Hemsley. Good evening, Ted.
Alan, nice to see you.
And to see you. And I am stopping you playing tennis at Graves Leisure Centre at the age of, I've worked your age out.
Have you now? Well,
yeah. But you're still active and fit, which is great.
Yeah, I think you're talking to the luckiest person in the world, really, for all sorts of reasons. You just mentioned football, cricket, 17 seasons playing football, 21 playing cricket. I mean, injuries, but no career-threatening injuries. So you could be very fortunate, very lucky to be able to do that. And it was just fantastic. And also, a lot of the lads I played with, both football and cricket, aren't so well or carrying injuries or whatever. And touch wood at the moment, I'm all okay. You know, I'm able to play like tennis and my golf and things. So it's great.
It is great, and you play to a very high standard. Let's add that Ted played at the highest level of football for Sheffield United, won promotion in that legendary team that I remember and mentioned at the start, 1970-71, alongside people like Tony Curry, Alan Woodward. Then in the top flight with John Harris's team. But alongside this, and a career that also took in Shrewsbury Town and Doncaster Rovers, you played cricket for, I think you were on Worcestershire's books for something like 20 years.
21
years. And this is almost beyond, but what kind of a life? Let me just also introduce you as EJO Hemsley, because I always remember the cricket scorecard. And there it was, EJO Hemsley. Edward John Orton, O-R-T-O-N. Where does the Orton come from then?
It was my grandmother's maiden name.
Right.
So it was incorporated in, and I'm the one that cut for it, if you like. So yeah, I'm EJO, as they say. Yeah. But I'm often called a lot worse on most occasions. Yes.
Aren't we all? And an avid follower of Sheffield United to this day. He keeps in touch with them. In fact, he's almost one of the ex-players on a think tank. You talk to Chris Wilder regularly, don't you? You must be delighted to see.
Well, not as regularly as we'd like to, but yeah, the Three Stooges, TC, Tony Curry, Len Badger, myself. Yeah, we've known Chris obviously a long time, and we're all down there still on the corporate side of things. TC's obviously ambassador. Len and myself work on the corporate as match day hosts with the sponsors, which is very enjoyable, yes.
And there's an exchange of views sometimes.
We don't agree on everything, that's true. Well, it wouldn't be healthy if we did. No. So,
well, I'm sure that the manager wouldn't want your view if you were always going to agree with him, would he?
I'm not sure he's asking our opinion at the moment, no. I'm sure he won't mind mentioning, I don't know if the other guys when they came in did mention when Chris got the job, he made contact with us and wanted a chat with basically what had gone on, or what had been going on at Bramall Lane, both on the pitch and off it. And it was a wise move because he just wanted to know everything, what was going on at this football club when he came into it. So we had a healthy chat for about 2.5, 3 hours, which was entertaining.
Yeah, because there were lots of good things and lots of bad things that you could say about the various intervening period.
Well, I like to think it was on a constructive sort of setting, really. Rather, there's no point in criticising what had already gone. It had gone anyway. So, no, we had a chat about certain players who we thought might do well or may not, you know. And thankfully, we've seen that some of the lads have come through who are already here and have done pretty well.
So you earmark one or two. Does that include young Brooks?
Well, Brooksy was, I'm not sure he was he then really, no. But in particular was Paul Coots, who sadly now is well, tragically for him, obviously, and also for the club at the moment, because unusually, and he was, in my opinion anyway, and I think and the other guys are thinking the same, he's the main cog in this pretty exciting and well-oiled wheel that's been going round for the last season and a half. And it's going to be difficult to fill, as results have shown already. So it's a tough situation, and when things like that happen, you tend not to get the breaks as well. So I'm sure that he'll sort it out. He usually does. I have every confidence in him, Chrissy Wilder, and I'm sure if he doesn't have, I don't know anybody that can play that role, more or less the same way. But I'm sure in the transfer window he will already have someone eyed up, and hope that we can carry on the way we've been doing, because it's been fantastic. The work ethic and the commitment is the best I've seen from any Sheffield United side, and I think that includes the team I played in. I mean, situation, you don't compare teams, but the conditions are better now for players, obviously, with the pitches to what they were in our day. But the work ethic that Chris has installed into these players is fantastic. I love every minute of the way they play. You can forget mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but overall, the commitment's been fantastic. And this is now we've had a little bit of a falter. I think the lads have entertained the crowd, and got them on side, and it's now time for the supporters to pay a bit back, because the lads they will be quivering a little bit, you lose a bit of confidence. So we need the supporters now to pay back, what they've had it good for a season and a half. We've now got to get behind the lads and sort of carry them over the line. It
is amazing that 3 matches without a win does bring out of the woodwork people who are having a chip at the team and having a go. I find it absolutely astonishing. Well, I really do.
You shouldn't do, because
no, maybe not.
Every club will have a section.
Yeah, sure.
And it can't be helped, but majority are behind the lads 100%, and rightly so. It's been great to watch, fantastic.
You mentioned about the work ethic and how good to watch, and certainly people who've watched all the intervening periods going back 4 decades, and I remember your team, have said this football is the finest since your team, and I think they're probably right. There have been various styles in between. I remember the team with Nigel Spackman, just briefly, was an exceptionally good,
That's right.
good team.
So I'm told I didn't get a chance to see those.
Yeah, but it was dismantled very quickly by Sales. But this one's played some great stuff.
I think the difference, our team is, we were, most of the side were very, very quick, but you had 2 or 3 outstanding quality players. And Tony Curry was described by many of the managers of the day world class. As soon as his name mentioned, world class. That's how good he was. And then Alan Woodward was as good a striker of the ball that I've seen, and I used to have a close-up view, because every day in the week I'd be, Seth Coldwell, the coach, he'd have his favourite session was forwards against defence, so I'm having to mark Woody,
You was a left back.
So it was tough. And of course, Len Badger, I hate saying it because he'll be watching this.
He's your mate. Yeah.
Listen, he was a class act, Len Badger, and make no mistake about it. And he was a real quality player. I mean, class act.
Well, that's all. We're going to talk a lot more about Sheffield United present and the impacts of the Paul Coots injury, etc. How you see it going from here. But I'll try and embrace the cricket, particularly very topical with England in a Test series down under in the Ashes. Sorry to remind us all about that, and 2 tests. We lost the first 2 tests, and how you see that going. Also, the subjects of sledging I'll bring up as well. Which has been in the news, and you've heard a few insults and on the field in your time, and your sort of assessment of that. But I just want to tell people who don't know, because I do, because I've researched this, but I remember you playing anyway. You were with Worcestershire, as you say, for 21 years. You scored nearly 10,000 runs in your career, 8 centuries. There were 53 50s in that. You were a medium pace bowler as well. And you won the county championship with Worcestershire in 1974. and you had a top score of 176 not out, which has got a great story with it. But first of all, how on earth did you do it? How on earth did it's inconceivable now that anybody could do what you did and play the two sports.
I think, to be honest, in those days, because we didn't get paid a lot of money, obviously, but it was just another job. I mean, I treated it as another job, and it was, people say, didn't you get tired? Well, clearly you would get tired physically and mentally, but I just felt it was a change was as good as the rest, and quite literally, even the season 70-71 when we got promoted, half the city celebrating, and yet Sunday morning after that last game, I'm packing my bags, travelling to Worcester, and I'm in the nets Monday morning. Well, all the lads up here celebrating, so.
You missed out a bit.
No.
Because you're not allowed to savour the moment, enjoy it. And
I didn't look at it that way. I would have missed out if I hadn't gone to play cricket. Cricket was equally as important as football, in fact. I think initially I was able to progress further, have more success as a kid playing cricket before I played football, because cricket and football team games, but nobody can bat or bowl for you or catch for you. So I had opportunities to play,
to do both,
to do well. But also, when you do well at cricket, you're batting, you're scoring runs. So that helped me to progress probably more quickly at cricket than it did at football. It was. And then, like I say, I'm the luckiest person in the world. When I joined Worcestershire, straight from school, my first season at Worcester, two other guys joined the club that season. One was Tom Graveney, the great Tom Graveney, who joined from Gloucestershire. He swapped county. And Basil D'Oliveira, who was over playing in league cricket. And he joined Worcester that same season. So my first season in the second 11, because the rules were, they meant when they joined, they had to qualify for the season, which meant they couldn't play in the first team. They had to play in the reserves in the second 11. So my first season in the second 11 for Worcestershire, I'm batting alongside Graveney and D'Oliveira, which they were two great players. So if you can't learn from things like that, then you're not going to get far.
We're going to come on. I'll have a quick look while we're talking at the two sides of Ted Hemsley's sporting life. A couple of flashback photographs, I think, will appear as we carry on talking. But that innings of 176 not out. Now this was at Worcester, okay, and it was against Lancashire, and they had a fearsome bowler or two in those days. And I'm thinking, it must have been a shot. There you are in your prime as a batsman, and you were an attacking batsman. Despite boring me to death at Queen's Park, Chesterfield, once with an innings of 47, which I've never forgotten, which took about 4 hours. And there, of course, more familiar. I don't know why you were playing football in colour and cricket in black and white in those days, but that would appear to be the case. And there you are at Bramall Lane. This innings at 176 not out, I'm thinking a shirt front wicket at Worcester, sunny day and everything like that. Tell us the reality of that.
The reality of it is that it was a season we were having problems with the wicket, without going into too much detail. But this wicket was classed as unfit for first-class cricket. We won the toss, decided to bat, knowing that the wicket wouldn't last. There was a bit of a crust on it from the floods, and the new groundsman was unaware what he really needed to do to get this silt away. And so we won the toss against Lancashire with Colin Croft and I think Peter Lever.
Colin Croft was a fearsome bowler.
Yeah, amongst others. There was a few of them around, and so we batted first, and I found myself walking to the crease. The third ball of the innings, actually. We were 0 for 2. What? 0 for 2 after 2 deliveries.
Right.
And there was quite a good crowd. It was a nice day. There was a big crowd in, and it was buzzing. There was a big and I'm thinking, I'm going to be in Wisden here if
you're out. A hat trick for the first 3 balls.
I'm the hat trick man, and I'm going to get the headlines for the wrong reasons. So the head was spinning a little bit. So I walk out to the middle course. I'm getting plenty of earache from the Lancashire lads, as you would expect. And Crofty is charging in, and quite literally, and he came in and absolutely bowled me a complete jaffer, good length ball. I'm on the back foot, to be honest. I'm not going too far.
Why am I surprised?
And it just absolutely exploded. and this is the third ball it is, and it took off, and I managed to fend it off.
Yeah.
And it shot straight back up in the air, straight back into his hands.
Right.
Caught and bowled.
And you're relieved. Oh.
And the crowd's gone mad.
Yeah.
The crowd's going mad. I'm not too happy. And then I look up, and there the umpire, Ray Julian, he is.
Right.
A nice guy. And he's standing there with his arm out, no ball. Well, I said the luckiest guy. Every dog has his day. We finished up 321 for 7, and I got 176 not out.
Crikey.
Should have been out first
How did
ball.
you do that then? Were they all off the edge,
Well,
over the slips, or what? Or
Probably, I don't know, but it was...
amazing.
I think we got 320 for 7, and we bowled them out twice. And I remember catching Peter Lever out at Gully, and
Yeah.
flat up in the air, and as he walked past me, he said,
Yeah.
M5, M6, back to Lancashire. That was it.
Well,
yeah. So listen, every dog has his day.
No,
I told you I'm lucky.
That is a fantastic story, an amazing achievement that you to score that innings and that sort of wicket in those conditions against Colin Croft. And you mentioned the remarks that, mostly humorous remarks, on the field, and we've maybe got a Fred Truman story to come later because you played at Bramall Lane, your
Absolutely.
football home ground, for Worcestershire against Yorkshire. So talk about that later. What do you make of the sledging controversy at the moment? It's been there of recent years, but the inference is, and I think Pryor said, former England wicketkeeper, said the other day that
Who used to dish out a bit.
he did.
Yeah.
But he's saying, look, it's personal.
Yeah.
That it's about personal aspects of people's personal lives.
Yeah,
what do you make of it?
Well, I think that's disgusting. I don't think there's any place in that. And I'm actually surprised that professional sportsmen, would sink to that level, because sledging, there's always been sledging. I mean, I've had Dennis Lilly in my face, whizzing it past my nose, then turn around and then turn back again. And he followed up and he's right in my face, testing me out, you see.
Yes.
So I blew him a kiss and he smiled and off he went. So, but yeah, there's too much of it, and even in local cricket, I've been hearing it, over the years. And I once stopped a game I was playing in at Chesterfield,
Right.
and it was only a Sunday 11, and these young lads, and it was just incessant racket. I stopped the game. I really stopped the game. I went berserk, and the umpires came over and thanked me very much, and their captain turned around and shut them up. But
Right.
there's no place for it. You're always going to get it if it's good-humoured and, but when it gets really personal and things like that, I don't see... you will never take it away if it's done the right way.
Yeah.
And it's up to you then. You've got to stand up to it. But
Things
when
like
it's
Mind
personal,
the Windows Tino, from Freddie Flintoff to Tino Best, and he was out next ball because, smashing the windows up. That's funny, isn't it?
absolutely, yeah.
And it's got a place in the
Yeah,
game.
of course it is. You'll always test people out, but in all honesty, when it gets nasty, what's the point? Because invariably when you get off the field, you go for a drink after,
Yeah.
your two teams get together anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that you can continue to do that in a friendly way
How
if
can
you're
you
going to
stop
allow
it?
to continue.
Can you stop it? Can you legislate against it, or what? It appears not.
Well, I think basically it's almost down to the umpires. I don't know. I mean, the umpires have got things on them, microphones on them, and all. What are you going to do? Stick one on every player?
Well, maybe.
And then at least you'll know what they're saying.
Yeah, and then they wouldn't be able to do it,
Yes.
would they?
That's what I'd do.
Well, that happens in rugby, doesn't it? These tough guys in rugby, the referee's mic'd up so you can hear any choice words.
But see, my era is different. I mean, there was some friendly sledging, and but it was. You took it in the right spirit,
There weren't so many words on the field, though, were there?
No,
I mean, you can hear them on the boundary after every ball now.
Yeah.
There's shouts.
But it was usually just the quick bowlers charging up and in your face, and just to test you out, which is great.
Part of the spectacle
Yeah,
of the game.
absolutely.
You'd be disappointed if it wasn't there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's a fine line.
But now
isn't it, really?
but now it's nasty, and I don't see any place for that. I don't see the fun of it. I mean, the game surely comes first.
Yeah, and it's blighting the
And
game.
we should, look after the game a little bit.
Okay, right. Ted, that's brilliant. That's part one completed. We're going to have a 5-minute break in part two. We'll talk about Paul Coots again, Sheffield United's prospects, England down under, lots more. James Gregg will join us. Just have 5 minutes and we'll see you in a bit. See you.